here, and if you are new here, then welcome. So in today's video, I'm going to be tackling one of the most confusing business questions, which is how do you sell something before you actually create it? Now, this is a strategy that has been tested by many businesses in many industries, and it works. And it's something that I really believe in. And I say that because I have made some shocking mistakes doing this the other way around. So today we're going to be diving into the 3 key factors and the 1 simple strategy behind pre-selling your online course. And this actually applies to lots of businesses, but we're going to be focusing on the online course business because, well, that is what I do. So I'd love to know what your light bulb moments are when listening to this video, so please do drop them in the comments below. Okay, so let's do this. Let's dive into the 3 C's for building the foundations of your business to make it truly sustainable and make the impact that you want to make. So number 1, confidence in what you're selling. So if you are not confident in what you're selling, you won't even get it out there into the world. Number 2, cash injection into your business. So your business is not your hobby. So it of course needs to be making money, otherwise, well, it is just a hobby. So that's why it's important to look at how we can quickly generate cash flow and also operate from a place of abundance rather than a place of scarcity, which is not a fun place to be. So number 3, client results. So making sure what you're selling actually works and does what it says it's going to do. All right, so let's dive into what you really need to focus on to successfully sell your online course before creating it. And if building an online sustainable business that makes a huge impact is something that you are interested in and you want help in bringing this all together, then you can click the link below this video to book a call with me or one of my team. There is an interview process because we want to make sure that we are truly the right fit for each other. And before we get started, please do hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. Okay, so let's do this. Step number 1, confidence. Confidence in what you're selling. Confidence is everything, and if you don't have confidence in your course, it's very likely to stay as an idea in your mind and never get launched. And we don't want that. So how do you build confidence in something that you have never sold before? So I have a proven method that I've used, my clients have used, and by the time you get around to selling your program, it actually feels like a no-brainer. Like you feel a sense of ease, and truly it feels generous because you know that you can support clients and you can get them results. And I like to call this the BBP process, so the Beta Parenting Program process. And following this process is going to help you be seen as an authority in what you do. And the BBP is really the first version of your offer, and basically there are just a couple of steps in this process that you need to follow. So you're going to dive into your own story and figure out how you can best support people based on your area of expertise and your experience and your skill set. And you also really want to think about what makes you unique, like taking into account the things that you've experienced and overcome to get to where you are today. And then you're going to do some market research. So you go to all the places where your ideal client is hanging out, and you'll often know where these places are intuitively because your ideal client is often a mirror for you. So Facebook groups, influencers they follow, even Amazon book reviews. And you're going to be the scientist in your business, and you're going to look at all the comments and look at what is really resonating with people that need someone like you. So courses, conferences, looking what other consultants are offering, all of that, and what kind of content is really resonating with them and making them really engage. And that is going to help you truly understand what is out there and what is working already. Now from there we're going to move to interviews. Now most people never do this because they don't see it as necessary, or they just want to move to the fun stuff like getting their course out there. But just doing that doesn't work for a lot of people because you don't even know if what you have to sell is actually wanted, or you don't truly know what to include in your program because it's just coming from your belief system, which doesn't necessarily mean it's actually what other people want. And so what you want to do from all the research stages I've mentioned, you want to find the people who are an ideal match for you, the people that you want to serve, which remember is often a mirror for you. So when I look at myself, when building my business in the early days, I was running courses covering a whole range of topics, from childminding, maternity training, au pair training. I was running training in corporates. We were running mental health training. I was building training courses for people, and I was running training courses internationally. And I was also raising my daughter, who was a baby, and it's no surprise that I burnt out. And I couldn't scale my business because everything relied on me. And aside from that, the model itself, working with people one-to-one or in groups at set time, just wasn't scalable either. And so now I help responsive parenting specialists, so a market that I have been supporting for over 20 years, to scale their businesses online through packaging their expertise into an online coaching program, which enables them to then build a sustainable business that makes a huge impact supporting their clients. So thinking about you and your journey, you want to interview your ideal client to really and truly understand their challenges and what they feel like they're missing to get to where they want to get to, and also understand what their desires are. And you want to do that without expecting anything from them, without selling. And this process is powerful because it tells you what is truly wanted and needed in your course. So you don't have to second guess if what you're including is useful or good enough, because you're going to go through these steps and you're going to work out what is necessary to help your ideal clients get from their zero state and achieve their hero state through your program. And now the simple step from there is that once you have that information and you have that understanding about what is actually needed to create a course that's going to help your ideal client reach their desired transformation, then you can build out your curriculum outline. And that outline is based on your own experience and what you've done to reach the transformation yourself. So you're talking from a place of knowing, and that is important. And then you also have your research and you also have your interviews. So you create the curriculum, like I mentioned, that takes your clients from their zero state, like where they're feeling frustrated, to their hero state, and where they're getting these amazing results. And by that happening, they become your social proof, which validates your offer. And quite frankly, social proof is your biggest marketing muscle in your business, because instead of saying just what you do, you're literally showing people how you can help them achieve what they want. Now, the other key piece here is writing down your transformation statement and getting clear on where you take your ideal client from and to. So this is where you write down your ideal client, in their zero state, so where they feel most frustrated, and where they want to be and why. So with me, I help responsive parenting specialists and sleep coaches to go from feeling overwhelmed in their business, working one-to-one with their clients, to building a business model that means that they aren't on all of the time, so that they can make more of an impact and build more freedom in their life. So your job is to take all of that research and knowledge and to create a curriculum outline. Now, you're not going to now build out your whole course. That would be a big mistake, because you're going to waste so much time doing that. Because what will happen, and what so many people do, is that they build this super robust course that is jam-packed full of lots of information, which they think is super valuable, but actually the opposite is true, because you don't want to just stuff your course with lots of information. You want to focus on making it as efficient as possible so that you can help your ideal client really achieve their transformation as quickly as possible. So this is what makes a really powerful online course. Like, people are paying for the transformation that you can help them achieve, not how much information you can possibly squeeze into your course. And they want that transformation as quickly as possible. And actually, the analogy that I often use is like climbing up a mountain. So your ideal client is at base camp and they want to scale this mountain as quickly as possible. They don't want to be faffing around, walking around the mountain. And if they have to do that, the likelihood of them finishing or being totally exhausted by the process is going to be really, really high. So focusing on making the transformation as quick as possible is the key to creating and making a really, really effective course. So because you have really listened to your ideal client and what they need, you then know what it's costing them to not have the solution you provide. And often that cost is a lot higher than you think. So when we think about a parent not sleeping, the cost might be not being able to function at work, or not being promoted, or not having quality time with their partner or their kids, or feeling emotionally drained or depressed, or even feeling like they're failing. So when you really know the cost to your ideal client of not having the support and the transformation that you can provide, you can charge appropriately and not undercharge. And the reason why that's important is that if you undercharge, you're going to feel really frustrated, and actually it's really hard to build a sustainable business because you're constantly worrying about how you can get another client in the door. So the aim here is to be charging based on the value of what you're offering. It's not just a cost that you've plucked out the thin air or you've seen someone else charge. So you've considered the financial cost, the emotional cost, and the spiritual cost of your ideal client not having the solution to their problem. And so by this point, going through all of these steps, you have that validation that what you've created is actually needed, because you've done all the research, you have spoken to actual human beings, and by putting your program out into the world, honestly, it is an act of kindness, because people really need what you have to offer. And of course, that is not everyone, but the right people do need it. Okay, so let's move on to step number 2, getting a cash injection into your business. So with any business, you need to fund what you're doing. Now, in the online space, it's slightly different to other businesses in the sense that you don't have huge costs, or of course there's some running costs, but generally speaking, these aren't high, or at least they shouldn't be. But what you do need to do is inject enough money into your business so that you can build that momentum as you get that social proof and you start growing. And that is why cash flow is such an important part of this process. You want to be in a position where you can enjoy the process and sustain yourself and sustain growth and eventually hire people to assist you. So in terms of bringing in cash flow into your business, you now know the value of the outcome of what you're selling, and you have your course curriculum outline, but your program isn't built yet. So one of the things that you're going to do is that you're going to go back to the people that you interviewed, specifically people who were a right fit, and you want to go back to them and you want to say, hey, I've built out a program that is really going to help you reach the transformation that you're interested in. Would you be interested in talking again? So this won't be coming out of the blue, because when you interview people, those people who are the right fit, you would have asked them if they would be interested in hearing more about your program when you've created it. So this is basically a really simple strategy, and you've basically built a list of buyers from scratch, and you're going to go back to the right people and say, hey, I built this thing that is going to help you to get from where you are right now to where you want to be. Are you interested? And a lot of the time, those people become your first clients. In fact, one of my clients, Kim, who's a sleep coach and lactation consultant, followed that process and got 14 people in her responsive sleep program. So a program she hasn't even fully built out yet, and she converted 70% of the people that she spoke to who were the right fit, which is amazing. But in truth, it's not surprising, because I believe strongly that relationships and connection is everything in sales and marketing. And the amazing part of all of this is that there is no tech headaches, there's no funnels, there's no sales pages, no webinars. In fact, doing all those things and spending a ton of time preparing sales pages and webinars and prepping all of that stuff is just a waste of time at the beginning, because you haven't run your program yet. So you don't have real life results from actual human beings, and you probably don't have a lot of traffic either at this point. So spending time doing all of those things is just a waste of time, and it actually just delays you getting the social proof and getting people through the door. So by keeping everything really simple, it just reduces the friction and it builds ease into your business. And actually, this whole process sets you up for success, because if everything goes tits up, like your funnel breaks down or your webinar doesn't perform, you actually know who your clients are, what your clients need, and where to find them. So this isn't just a quick trick. This is actually about creating steady foundations in your business. So to give you a few examples of people that have successfully done this, so prior to building a course, they have simply followed the steps that I lay out in my program, Scale and Thrive. They interviewed 40 people and they created a curriculum outline based on what their ideal client asked for, on what they knew from doing all their research and their experience, so they knew what was needed. And so let me tell you what happened. So holistic sleep coach Carla generated a month's income in 10 days. And she shared that her BBP program has been transformational for not only for her, but also for the families that she supports. And then sleep coach and pharmacist Michelle generated £3,350 from her BBP program, and she was able to build a wait list of parents while she was running her first program. We've got sleep consultant Christina, who generated a ton of new followers both on her email list and on her social media channels, and she sold out her program. This process works because, like I said earlier, this is about connection and relationships and truly listening. And I know that sounds basic, but it works, and actually it just feels joyful, and that is a great place to be. So to get your program into the hands of your ideal clients, generally we're talking between 6 to 10 weeks. Now sometimes it takes a little bit longer and sometimes it takes less time, but this is what I see on average. Now, in order to do that in a relatively short period of time, you are going to run this program live for your first cohort. So you're going to do that over a 6 to 8 week period using Zoom and offering coaching calls around this to provide customized feedback around what you're teaching so that you can truly understand what is needed. And again, this is so important, and I say this from my own mistakes, because if you miss this part and launch an evergreen course, you are probably going to struggle to sell it, because if you haven't built up an audience of buyers, or if you have a large audience, you might even struggle to sustain sales and you're going to feel deflated. Now, the other issue is, of course, that you're just delaying getting social proof, which is what you really need in order to sell it. So delivering your program live allows you to get that feedback, make any changes that you need, and really go deep with your clients in a group format and get that social proof based on actual results that is going to help you sell your program. Now, you might be thinking, how do I get clients' results in 8 weeks? Especially as responsive practitioners, we aren't always about the quick fixes and unrealistic promises. And the truth is, they might not be getting the full transformation in 8 weeks. Sometimes it takes longer for some clients, but that's why these clients will continue to be able to access your content and you when you make your program evergreen. So when you create what I call the polished version, which takes into account like all the feedback, what's going to happen is that they're going to be able to go through that content in their own time and continue to grow and thrive with your help and get results. But guaranteed, people will get results in your live program, and it may not be the full transformation that they get within that time, because every client is different, every child is different, but they will get results because you have done so much research and you have really gone deep with people. So this process is all about making sure the offer, so your offer, actually does what it says, and you're able to make changes needed to get people efficiently from A to B. So from feeling frustrated and challenged to feeling like that they have reached their ideal place, and get that social proof, which is key in creating a sustainable business. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful and it made the whole process a little bit clearer in regards to what it takes to pre-sell your online course and why it is so important. Because when you do this, when you know what you sell works, this gives you so much confidence. Okay, so I hope you found it informative, and this is truly what I love to do inside of Scale and Thrive. I do it day in and day out. I help parenting specialists and sleep consultants to go from being overwhelmed and working with clients on a one-to-one basis to scaling their business and impact online to create truly sustainable businesses. And if you want to know more about it, then you can click the link below to book a call with me or one of my team. And just before you go, one small thing that you can do to help us reach more people is to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe, and then you'll be notified when the next video is released. Thank you so much, and don't forget to leave a comment below because I'd love to know what your light bulb moment is. Speak soon.